children. I hope you all are studying regularly and have completed all your previous chapters. In the previous class, we studied about the Mughal Empire. And I hope children, you all remembered who were Mughals. So let's have a quick review. Mughals, they were the descendants of Genghis Khan and the successors of Taimur. Then we studied about the different Mughal emperors. Like first came Babur, then Humayun, then Akbar, then Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, and the last Mughal emperor which we studied was Bahadur Shah Zafar. So this all children we covered in the previous class, and we also studied about the relationship of Mughal rulers with the other rulers. Children, Mughals, as we all know, they were very powerful rulers, and so all the other rulers like Rajputs, they came and voluntarily joined the Mughals. Today, I'll be making you familiar with few terms which was used by the Mughals. And one such term was Mansabdars and Jagirdars and Zabt and Zamindars. So today we study about these terms and also what was the consequences of the Mughal rulers. How did the Mughal Empire came to end? So let's start with the explanation. So children, I was telling you about Mansabdars. Who were Mansabdars? The term Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds a mansab, which means a position or rank. And children, it was a grading system used by the Mughals to fix rank, salary, and even military responsibilities. And children, do you know these Mansabdars, they received salaries as revenue assignments, and these revenue assignments, they were called Jagirs, which were somewhat like iktas, that is divided into smaller units. And then I was about to tell you about Zapat and Zamindars. The main source of income, children, available to Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of peasantry, and these taxes they were paid and these in most places the peasants they paid taxes through the headman or the local chieftain, and the Mughals described just one term, that is Zamindars, to describe all these headmen or chieftain who used to collect the taxes, and this revenue system was known as Zapat. Now children, moving on towards the art in the Mughals during the time of Mughals. The Mughals, they were famous for their manuscripts and Persian miniature buildings. And while making paintings, they involved a lot of nature like birds, flowers, animals, etc. And in the year 1680, Emperor Shah Jahan, he banned music and painting from his court. But what did he allow? He allowed architectural art such as the Pearl Mosque and the Taj Mahal. I hope you all remembered that Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Then this is the architectural style during the time of Mughals, and white marble and red sandstone was favored. Then semi-precious gemstones were popular, like crystals, etc. And they used arches, then symmetry and balance, stress. So these are the main architectural styles at the time of the Mughals. Now children, what type of clothes they preferred? They preferred kurta, and which was an informal dress worn by Mughal men and even women, and sometimes they were sewn with gold or silver threads. So they were made with gold or silver threads, and they were cut in long flowing panels for comfort about knee length, as you can see in this picture. And it was traditionally worn in Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Now children, Mughal cuisine, that is the type of foods they preferred. They preferred spicy fruit, dried fruit, rich and creamy, and different types of kebabs, various sauces, and even they preferred non-vegetarian foods in their fooding. Then what type of religion they followed? Of course they followed Islam, but Mughals, they followed a different kind of religion. It was named as Sulh-e-Kul. In the wide expanse of the divine compassion, there is room for all classes, and there was room for even opposite religions, and also for beliefs, good and bad. And Akbar followed the principle of universal peace. Children, till now we studied about the growth and the popularity of the Mughal Empire. We also studied about their relations with the other Mughal rulers. Their relations with the other rulers of other countries. And then we also discussed that Rajputs, it was a very good example of this. As the Mughals became very powerful, then the Rajputs, they married their daughters into Mughal families to receive high positions. And children, we also discussed about the different revenue system, the salaries, the ranks which were given by the Mughals to the people in their kingdom. Now we are going to study that when the Mughal emperor was going prosperously, day by day, year by year, then what has happened to the empire that it declined? So finally we are coming to the reason, the decline of the Mughal empire. How did this big and large kingdom decline? As I have told you, the last Mughal emperor was Bahadur Shah Zafar, and finally after him the Mughal empire grew weak by 1700 as kings spent too much money on palaces, that is maintaining their palaces, and even on wars. Then in spite of this, what happened? The large population of Hindus in India, they began to revolt. Why did they begin to revolt? They revolted against their Muslim rulers, and they preferred that now the time has come that Hinduism should rule the country. And Great Britain took advantage of this weakness, conquered India and removed the last Mughal emperor from power in the year 1858. So children, this was the time when the Britishers, they entered our country. Now discussing the few more points of the decline of the Mughals. The civil war started in the country. Civil war means the war inside the country. Aurangzeb, as I have told you, enlarged Mughal empire, but his actions marked beginning of its end. And due to harsh measures of regime, frequent rebellions broke out in later 1600s. And when finally Aurangzeb died, rival claims to throne led to civil war. That is, the rivals, the enemies, they wanted to sit on the throne, and then the civil war started. Soon invaders poured into India from north. So as this Mughal empire weakened, Aurangzeb died, the invaders, they came into India from North India, and Mughals continued to rule for about 150 more years. It is more than 150 years the Mughals ruled our country, and eventually India fell under colonial sway of British as part of their global empire. So this is all what happened when the Mughal power, it became very weak, it declined. Then the Britishers from Great Britain, they got an opportunity to enter India and to sway away, to keep away the Mughals, the remaining Mughals, and to get control, and they controlled the global empire, and they overtook the Mughal empire, and slowly they started establishing their power, their companies, and even started settling all over India. So this is how we have studied how the Mughal empire, the vast kingdom, it spread, gained its popularity, and they ruled for more than 150 years, and how such a vast empire declined and came to an end, and the Britishers, they overtook the country, they overtook the Mughal empire. So that is all, children. We saw how there was the entry of Britishers. That's all for today. Work hard, work smart, and have a good day, children.